Recording live from the Den of Evil. It is on. It is another misadventure at the house of Morgana. This is Persona 5. And you're the cat.
I almost threw up legitimately.
We're going to do a commentary for Pulp Fiction.
And wherein we do not talk about the film.
Because let's face it, we like this movie, you know why we like this movie, you like this movie, and you know why you like this movie.
So this is basically just an opportunity for us to shoot this shit.
Yeah, really. We were going to do Kill Bill, but then Morgan was like, what is this logo?
I don't know.
Cool.
Next.
Skip. I have lukewarm pizza.
It's really the best pizza.
Oh, wow, it's not.
Oh, alright.
It's actually like the worst possible texture it could be.
My sincerest apologies on behalf of Domino's.
A soft, moist, shapeless mass of matter.
My stomach.
Me. Alright, Morgan.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen this scene? Exactly.
As many words as there are in each line of dialogue.
I actually look at this whenever I write just a dialogue scene between two people. It's this and the diner scene for Pete. I have the scripts for both movies, like, in my documents section, and I'll go and look at them, and I'm like, how do I copy the flow of these? Make them interesting.
Well, you know, like 90% of that's up to the people that you have in front of the camera.
That too, and Tim Roth is just, well, he's Tim Roth.
I really do not care how good Tarantino is. If it wasn't these two people talking to each other, this would have only a fraction of them.
Whoever his casting director is, it's probably just him.
Yeah.
Just like Sam Jackson and a bunch of other fuckers, I don't care. Can you hand me the Lay's potato chips instead? That's more like it.
So, yeah.
Great.
Alright.
Off to a good start.
So, how's life?
Pretty good. I just finished my midterms. I'm about to have 2 days off from work and school. I published a book and I have a girlfriend. So this is probably the best I've felt in a long time.
Long time.
Long time. It's a name I've not heard in a long...
Mos Eisley Canteen. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
We're going to do a Star Wars commentary before Last Jedi. It's going to be nothing but that.
Yeah.
Mos Eisley Canteen.
So how about you, Morgan?
You know. That is indicative of the whole situation right there.
Garcon means boy.
Never want a potential woman more in my life. I don't think Tim Roth has either. Just look at that face.
That's true. He did not age well.
What do you mean he doesn't age well? Looks exactly the same.
Just so much older, though.
No, he looks exactly
Really?
the same. Yeah. Life is, you know, D+.
What now?
Life is D+. Solid
Well, it's not a failure.
73%.
Well, I mean, something we do have in common. We can hear about because we've both been listening to a lot of Opeth lately.
Mm-hmm. Like so
Opeth.
much.
Opeth and Porcupine Tree. It's been like our entire month.
Mm-hmm. They're good. They're really good. They're like so good. It's not even like seriously. They're so good. It's not even like.
Like, why are they more popular? Like, why?
Well, it's not. It's pretty niche.
I guess, but even then.
I don't know. It's They're Swedish, and this is Merca.
What? You're telling me that Mikael Ackerfels is Swedish? I know his name's pronounced Michael. I just wanted to drive in my point more.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
God, Tim
firearms.
Roth's shirt is ugly as shit.
That's
That's
gross.
an ugly kiss.
That's really gross.
That's an ugly kiss. Take your mouth off the scenery there, hon.
Yeah, life is,
Life.
it's better than it usually is. But,
That's all we can ask for. That font, though.
Tom Petty died like yesterday.
Oh boy.
Largest American.
Wait, which time? The first time or the second time? Gag me.
Largest American mass shooting in history is.
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing, is that I feel like both of us are in the best place we've been in a long time, but literally everything that isn't us is terrible.
Of course. I mean, something has to be awful.
You know, gotta be the world or us or both.
Yeah.
Ving Rhames. When was the last time he was in anything?
Mission Impossible 5.
I forgot about that.
I did not.
I wanted to like that movie so much more than I actually did.
Still don't know what your hang-up is.
I'm not even really sure what my hang-up is either. I think some of it might be. I mean, most of it's probably Tom Cruise.
Well, yeah, okay.
Like, it is just... And normally, I am not the type of person that gets bugged by, like, when it's like, oh, I just don't like the actor, so I can't like him in this. Like, no, I'm usually, like, I like John Travolta in this, and I can't stand John Travolta. In fact, I probably hate him more than Tom Cruise.
I absolutely do.
Oh, yeah.
And now, hit down the Z.
He's... I can't watch that without laughing. It's impossible. Sally Mink. That was one of the names that Patton Oswalt mentioned. He was just like, every woman has edited, or every one of your favorite movies is edited by a woman. It's like, yeah, you're kind of right. Dan DeVito.
Yeah.
And Roger. He helped write Silent Hill 1.
A game?
No movie. This movie is just so ingrained into pop culture and film nerd culture. What was it like to see it and just not have any idea what you were getting into? Other than like, oh, this guy made Reservoir Dogs. Which is also an amazing film. It's funny because I'm going to totally undersell how much I love this movie. Like, this is my top 15.
I think it's kind of overrated.
Oh, undoubtedly. It's like when you gave Blackwater Park a 5 and said it was overrated. I give this a 10. It's overrated. To a certain extent, every Quentin Tarantino movie is overrated. Except for Hateful Eight. Everyone's kind of lukewarm on that one, and I don't get it.
I still can't believe that guy on my Sputnik review.
Oh, who was just like, I can't, like, how can it be overrated and perfect?
Like, dude, number one, it's an extraordinarily narrow-minded way of looking at things. And two, seriously, just read the part where I clarify that it's overrated.
Because you do it.
Not overrated.
He
And
literally had to read the next sentence. Do the French really do that?
I don't know. I haven't been
That's
there.
disgusting. No, you shouldn't.
He's just gonna walk in with a shotgun.
It's really good. Like, why would you do that? I mean, granted, this is 1990s California. You could probably get away with pretty much anything.
It's like a few years after the Rodney King riots.
Yep.
Probably all right.
Not to mention they just look like they're in either the Valley or oh god, the place where all the porn gets shot, San Fernando.
Probably.
Just all the buildings look cheap and terrible, and I'm really not making a distinguishable place. That's all of California.
Yeah.
I do think that Samuel L. Jackson is, of course, fantastic. I mean, like, this is, like, Jules is legitimately my favorite character in any Tarantino movie, as he is most people's. But I don't feel like he gets enough credit for this performance, because his best moments are when he's subdued, just talking like this, instead when he's like, when I know my name is the Lord. Like, that's cool, but he's just good at acting like a guy. Now he's kind of a parody of himself, and I don't really like that. Sometimes it's played to his benefit, like in The Hateful Eight, but this...
I still want to see a Hitman's Bodyguard.
I have it on my box.
Hmm.
My uncle's a pimp.
This shot could be better. It's the only one.
Yeah, but this long take in the hallway is so good, it's like...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad. Do I sound mad? I shouldn't, because I ain't mad. I keep checking my phone, like someone's going to text me, and then I remember the only person who texts me is you, and you're
right here.
You're right next to me.
Yep.
God, what's that like? I wonder what it's like to be someone else who just lives their life.
I think thoughts like that all the time. It's really...
Like, people just have fun regularly. What's that like?
I feel like I used to be a lot more like that when I was younger, and I hang around more people. Like, But as, I got older, I don't really seclude myself or distance myself. I just grew away from the people who like to do things really often, because that's just not who I am. I'm actually going to cross over to Travolta's side of this. It's the same ballpark. The holiest of holies.
Yeah, it's
weird. Like, do you think... Don't you think Connor would be kind of weird if he found out that you gave Shay a foot massage?
Okay, first of all... There's no... Okay.
Morgan just farted for those of you who couldn't...
I'm sure everybody could tell.
I don't know if the audio picked it up.
We're both on the floor. There's no way that, like... Okay, so I'm not, exactly an idiot savant or anything when it comes to women. But I just don't consider it even... Like, it's weird. It's not,
Like, you wouldn't... I guess people wouldn't... Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I guess he wouldn't get mad, but it would just be like, what?
Like, dude, what did you... What?
It's crossing a line.
Yeah. Nobody deserves to be thrown off the 4-story building. But...
Looking up the way he talks. I really feel like...
Does it take place in 1994 or, like, 1972?
I think that's sort of the dichotomy of all Quentin Tarantino movies. No matter what decade they take place in, they really take place in the decade that he wants it to take in, which is 1972. I really feel like pop culture and, like, the film geek community in general sort of learned all the wrong lessons from this movie, which is why I would consider it overrated. Isn't even because of the movie itself, it's just that I feel like everybody tried to be it, except in the fact that they don't the original. Like, what made this movie special was the fact that there was nothing like it when it came out, and cinema was fucking garbage. Like, the early 90s, fucking go see Terminator 2 for the 17th time. That's about it. This, like, got going indie cinema in general. And then everybody was like, oh, so instead of being different, we should be like this.
I'm trying really hard to think of anything on my favorite movies list that's from like 1990 to 1994.
Let's see. Donnie Darko is mine, so that's 2001.
Yeah.
The Usual Suspects is 1995. So Seven was also 1995. So that's one for you too. Perks Being Wallflowers 2012. Break is 2006, I believe. Yeah, five. Birdman's 2014. Baby Driver was this year. It was this year. Feels really weird to have two movies from the same year on my top 10, by the way. It dipped below 8.0 on IMDb.
Yeah,
It made me kind of sad. I still can't believe that movie had a $35 million budget. That's fucking ridiculous. That's nothing. It looks better than, like, every movie. Fun fact, everyone. If you watch the television show Psych, you probably recognize Marvin here in this scene from that, is because he played a guy who thought he was being haunted, but turned out to have multiple personality disorders, where another personality was a woman. And was also a murderer. I love that show.
Split, 2016.
Yeah, really. You know, I really appreciate how, like, seedy this place is, because as somebody whose family owned rental property in Lexington, every house looks like this.
Yeah.
Like, exactly like this.
This is like almost exactly what the first apartment my parents moved into after having me look like.
Probably what my mom's apartment looked like. We'll see that they wouldn't look like this for long, because my family, or my grandfather specifically, he owned a concrete company, and he was a real handy fella, and then they did construction and rental properties. So basically, I spent the first decade of my life not knowing how to, like, talk to people, but I could fix up a house, I bet you what.
Boy, I'll tell you.
That picture of me that I posted painting the other day when I was like 6.
Got that dang old, spark plugs. Dang old
Alright,
shit.
boom power.
You saying?
But that picture of me I posted on Instagram painting,
Yeah,
of me, that was at a rental house.
Mm.
A wee little blonde fella.
all little boys were blonde ones.
You were too, right?
Yeah,
I remember that picture.
Sprite sucks.
Sprite sucks?
Yeah, it's just gross fizzy lemon water.
I like it when it's, like, in a can, but when you mix it with ice, it gets watered down so quickly, and it's like, this is disgusting. I like mixing Sprite with orange pineapple juice. It's delicious. Give you heartburn like a motherfucker, but it's delicious.
Some spit. He said,
Okay. Hey, look, you saw his face. Can I just tell you
the
how...
one by the cupboard points to wall with 15 cupboards.
You know what I hate is when people are like, "What's inside the briefcase?" It's like, it doesn't matter. The writer of the movie said it doesn't matter. It's
Could
whatever.
honest to God be Satan's dildo. It would not make any difference.
No, that's like the genius part about the movie. It's like making a commentary on how stupid it is. It's not what, like, this whole movie can be summarized in, it's not why it's happening, it's that it happened.
And how?
Yeah. When was the last time something, like, super original like this movie happened? I know you can probably trace its roots back to other things, but there's just, like, in 94, it's like, what movie is comparable to this? Like, what movie since, or, like, at least within, like, the past couple of years, kind of broke ground like that?
Brick, but nobody saw that.
Yeah.
Looper, but nobody saw that.
Ryan Johnson. Why haven't either of us seen The Brothers Bloom?
I don't know. Midnight Special, but nobody saw that.
Yep. Yeah, Midnight Special is like if Tomorrowland wasn't stupid.
Yeah.
They speak English or what? One of my favorite movie watching experiences was getting to watch this for the first time with Jacob, because he hadn't seen it.
Hmm.
And it was just lovely. Tell you, I double dare you, motherfucker.
Gone!
Look at John Travolta. He's just like, I like this cigarette.
He did not shoot him.
No. Also, does anybody else live in this building? I heard that.
It's California.
That's okay.
It's Inglewood.
It's like every day. No, we're in Sherman Oaks. I have never been to California.
Shut up.
And neither do you. This quote's made up.
Yeah.
Best Easter egg in Winter Soldier.
This is just one of those movies that I don't get the way everybody else does.
It's, in my opinion at least, the way I can describe my love for it. Which is funny, because this is still very high on your favorites list.
Well, it's not even on there anymore.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, if I can describe the appeal...
Like this. I don't like this.
Yeah. I see this
Like,
movie...
why did they both shoot him, and why did they both shoot him so many times?
That underline, though. I just see this movie as the purest example of
Now this,
turning...
I love
this
this.
is beautiful. Of turning style into substance, the way Tarantino does. And it's
Mhm.
just done with such confidence. Like, I feel like that's why Death Proof kind of failed, is because it wasn't a confidently put together movie. The only times where I feel like I'm watching something that Quentin made in that movie are the scenes with Kurt Russell in them. Like, every other part of that movie is a snore. But, like, scenes like this, you got, like, the lighting, just the speech that Marcellus gives, and then the camera starts to move out. You barely even notice it, and you see Marcellus's
Band-Aid.
crazy, yeah, which apparently has enough. Like, he just hurt his head on set, and they put a Band-Aid on it,
Yeah, there's no significance for that.
which I love. Which again, it's another reason why.
Like, there's also people who are just like, that's his portal to hell.
Yeah,
because he's
it's
the
like
devil
the
or something.
Veil. It's
like-
the soul.
Really, you want implying that the devil would let himself get butt raped?
Yeah, really.
Okay.
I mean, he's definitely supposed to be like a Mephistopheles character, because he's
Yeah.
obviously tempting Bruce Willis, and I mean, look at this fucking scenery, but it's like, that's again another thing, is that I feel like people think this movie is deeper than it is. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's just
it's not. It's just a
It's just-
bunch of well-defined characters doing things. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's great. It's just that it's
Yeah.
not anything like...
just saying, like, there's you're making symbolism where I don't really think it exists.
Yeah. That's pride fucking with you, boy. Well, I was watching the show Moonlighting with Bruce Willis and, oh, hell.
Nicole Kidman,
No, Taxi Driver.
Jodie Foster,
No, the other one. Politician, lady. Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah.
It's Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. It's funny because it's Bruce Willis before Die Hard, so it was Bruce
Mhm.
Willis when he cared.
Yeah.
It's really funny to see. It's like, wow, he's trying.
I hate Bruce Willis.
He's such an asshole in every movie interview I've seen him in. Like, have you seen the interviews for Red 2? Jesus. He looks like he's gonna fucking kill someone. I just want to make a scene like this. It's not complicated. It's just so simple and perfect.
It's really amazing to me that this isn't just the movie.
Yeah, just Bruce Willis's part.
Because I would watch that movie.
Oh yeah.
And frankly, I find it, far more interesting than anything else in it.
I always go back and forth as to what my favorite part of this movie is. It used to be Butch, but I think now I actually do enjoy Mia and Vincent the most.
Yeah, it's my least favorite.
I
just watch it and I'm like, okay, I get that this movie's about nothing, apparently, but, this is just... Why? No. So fat.
Really is. That shirt's not flattering.
I hate him.
Oh, and I mean, I obviously like the end when Harvey Keitel shows up.
Yeah.
Harvey motherfucking Keitel.
I'm sorry, but Reservoir Dogs is so much better in this movie.
Honestly, it's a matter of preference to me.
Well, fair enough, but
Reservoir Dogs is the type of movie I could see myself making before Pulp Fiction, but I just feel like Pulp Fiction it's just more of a touchstone, I guess. Which doesn't necessarily make it better, I just feel like it has more qualities that I appreciate than Reservoir Dogs. And I love Reservoir Dogs.
Actually, scratch that. My favorite part of this movie is when Bruce Willis shoots John Travolta.
The Pop-Tart. Whew. Hey, Quentin, maybe drop the hard R. Maybe just once.
Well, he didn't say that. It's just subtitles.
Well, whoever does subtitle track.
Them shorts.
Red apples are in all Tarantino movies.
It's always weird to me how the focus in the shot never went to that guy. Okay, until there, and then back. It was always just
they
weird.
Did that David Fincher thing. I feel like I went to high school with these girls. In fact, I feel like I could go to college with these girls.
Sidney Curley.
Best part is, if she was here right now, she would absolutely agree with you. Okay, can I talk about this for a moment? Look, I ain't a lady. I don't got lady bits. I don't understand. Why on God's great earth would you get your clitoris pierced? I just don't. Why? It's like guys who get their dick pierced. Like, just why? This just looks like David Spade's older, Big Lebowski-ish brother.
I kind of just think this movie's ugly.
It is, but I think it adds to its charm because it's on a technical level so it's like really well put together ugliness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
I've always appreciated like the griminess in movies not looking super professional like this.
Well, it doesn't look grimy. It's just all 90s and gross.
That too. Like, Donnie Darko in a lot of parts feels like, it doesn't feel like a movie. It just feels like, hey, this guy happened to get $8 million and a camera just filmed these people doing a thing. It's amazing how much it's not. It's like in the middle, or actually towards the end of Boogie Nights when they're like, you're telling me porn is going to be driven by a bunch of amateurs and the industry is just going to turn into a bunch of nothing? Horse shit. It's like, see what you did there, Paul. Actually, you know what this reminds me of, just the setting-wise? Indian Acres. It's a place that we live, people. Sorry. I associate him with... I'm not going to say anything about that, just...
Oh, I want to.
Oh yeah, we can make a podcast about that. Just a shout out to my boy Cameron Charles. Hang in there, boy. I got you.
He's a good man. And,
An old friend.
long time.
Also, I think the acting in this movie rides the perfect line of being professional and amateur.
Yeah, Almighty, I love women. Yeah. Well, you said
Well, I was saying that the acting in this movie perfectly rides the line between amateur and professional. Like, it's amateur enough to feel like it's not like, this master class, like, oh, these, like these people aren't known for being quote unquote good actors, but the characters they play are so, like, weirdly real and down to earth, it kind of works in the movie's favor. That's why Pulp Fiction is good. It's because its flaws all work in its favor.
I can see that. And I think this is a great sequence.
Oh, yeah. I love the lighting. Just look at that.
Probably got on method with it.
It was the 90s, probably. Uma Thurman was just like, hey, you want to get fucked up?
It's like, what's his face from Silicon Valley in that one part in Deadpool?
Tim Miller.
Yeah. TJ Miller.
TJ Miller. I say Tim
Oh,
Miller.
I hate that so much.
Oh, see, that's actually worse.
No, I'm
hate that.
fine. I'm fine with that. I just hate Niels.
Meals are pretty awful. And I've had a lot of them. I don't do drugs, I just have lots of health problems. Sound like people who pack tobacco.
Mac.
Wacko Jacko.
Horse.
Smacko. It is definitely movies like this that sort of give me hope for independent filmmakers. I know it had a budget and everything, but it's like, this isn't anything
Well, it doesn't
that was
have-
necessarily difficult to film.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have 20th Century Fox or Warner Brothers stamped on the beginning of it, so I imagine, you know.
So wait, what's Quentin's next movie after this?
Jackie Brown.
Oh, that's why nobody remembers.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for any movie that had to follow up Pulp Fiction and get smashed in between that and Kill Bill 1. Ow. Makes me sad we have to wait another long amount of time for another Tarantino movie. I don't wanna. I want it now. Do we even know what he's doing?
There's,
Nazib.
there's the meme.
Welcome to the meme review by the best teeth in the game. Stole your shtick, Anthony.
Notice me, senpai.
Hmm?
Notice me, senpai. What does that mean? People just say things in this movie. It's like, it doesn't mean.
Mia Wallace is just like. I think she's a vapid character done right. Because in most other movies, it's like, oh, well, if, she's vapid, then she's obviously going to act the way every character like that acts. But it's like, no. Mia's like this pretentious, pseudo-intellectual hippie.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. We weren't gonna bring it up, and it's not like I'm actually bringing it up, but Anna Popowski. Just saying.
Shots fired. Rip. She ain't gonna watch this. Nobody's gonna watch this.
Really. I mean, considering you still have to edit like 3 more of these.
Yeah, that's true.
Doubt.
If I didn't have work and school, I would have done it sooner. But it's just every moment of free time I've had in the past 2 months has been writing. I wrote a book. Everybody should buy it on Amazon. It's $1.
It's pretty good. I really like it, but I'm biased.
Well,
I'm like one of the main characters, of course.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
I'm waiting for the inevitable text from Connor to be like, so, is Chris me? It's like, nah, man, you're Leo.
Good one. Yeah, because Connor's gonna read it.
The first thing he does is talk about Metallica. How, like, obviously.
Yeah, because Connor's gonna read your book.
No, he keeps telling me he is, which, again, telling. I am so already accepting of the fact that no one will read it. Somebody is in this scene as, like, the celebrity people, like, somebody famous. Like, the woman who does, like, all the really famous,
Steve Buscemi's a waiter.
Yes, that's right. But there's also, like, the girl who does all the really famous, like, Marilyn Monroe portrayals is Marilyn Monroe in this, I think. There's somebody else, too.
You know, in ninth grade, Hurley, he showed us that this shot is like one of the best tracking shots in cinema, and I'm like,
I don't even think it's the best tracking shot in this movie.
no.
It's good, it's just
Yeah,
not...
it's not like tracking shots have to be there for a reason, and
I mean, other than
really.
showing us the environment and being very flowing and stylish, there's really no reason for it. I feel like with Jules and Vincent, just you feel stuck to them in that part of the movie. Like the camera is following them, like it's tethered to them. I just think this is actually Quentin Tarantino's basement.
Yeah, probably.
Like the decor, all of the posters. Everybody's, dressed like they're from the wrong decade.
It's like
James Dean.
It's like how Del Toro's house is just, Pan's Labyrinth.
Yep. Which is awesome. I hope he sleeps in a coffin.
Mm-hmm. So, Jake, what's life like having a girlfriend?
It's sad how reliant I think people like us are. Hey, Steve. How people like us are when we get a girlfriend because we are made keenly aware of how much power women hold over us. Because it's just, you instantly become a whole lot happier because you feel like you have a reason to do things.
Yeah, we're not capable of doing things purely for ourselves.
Yeah, I feel like I have the motivation to be somebody better for somebody else. And not to mention, there's... obviously when you date someone, you think there's something special about them, which is what draws you to them, but I feel like, I don't know, might be speaking too quickly here, but I don't... Lauren's just too nice and awesome. It's just, I don't know. The reason I didn't approach her in high school was because, well, I'm me. Durr. But it's nice. I remember my favorite part about when I was in my first relationship for a year. I remember just my favorite thing was that you could wake up in the morning, tell somebody good morning, hello, and do the same thing when you go to bed, good night, and it's just this like feeling of warmth and reassurance. Everything is just a little bit less shitty. Like, I'm a weak person. I'm a weak-willed individual, but can't change it. And also, if you go buy my book, you can check out some of my girlfriend's artwork, because she's going to do the covers for them. Yay!
I don't know if I obviously don't know what it's like to operate on that level of life.
Speaking as someone who is very much like you, it is incredibly surreal. It's just you kind of become someone else. It's like, oh yeah, sad Jake is over there in the corner. This is content Jake. As content as I'm capable of being.
And like in all honesty, I'm not too sure I ever want to know if there is any chance that it could ever go away. Because if like I get out of this and I have to come back to this at some point,
it's bad. It gets worse every time too.
It's like the tsunami after an earthquake.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, oh, all of that hope that I had and love and affection is just now gone.
Like, why did you have that for?
Yeah.
Idiot?
Which, it's funny just because I've, in past relationships, like in my first one, we broke up just because I slowly realized we were only with each other because nobody else would have us. And it was just more a thing of circumstance, which, it can be fine, but it's like, I couldn't live with myself if I not exactly settled, but was just with someone for the sake of doing it. Because on one hand, yeah, you're not alone, but on the other hand, it's like, you're kind of condemning yourself to mediocrity for the rest of your life. Not to mention a bunch of terrible shit happened, and I was just like, you shouldn't have to deal with me. And the second one ended because I was slowly realizing that the girl I was with was emotionally manipulative and kind of mean. And I just didn't realize it because I was too caught up in the high of actually having somebody.
The second one.
Brandy.
Oh. You never explained that aspect of it to me.
I don't really to anybody just because it's hard to explain. She was just trying to get me to do things in a certain way and trying to correct me like there was something wrong with me. I just didn't want to taste. Why I saw.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to seem like I was. I don't know. It's just not something I want to have to admit to people. Even though I have a justifiable excuse for why I kind of broke it off, but it's like.
Well, considering that I declared jihad not 5 minutes before this, so I think you can tell me and I will not pass judgment.
Nah. It's just, like you said.
Just for clarity's sake, I did not actually declare jihad. That was a joke.
We live in Kentucky. We can't even spell jihad.
I'm not even 100% clear what that is.
I don't think anybody is.
So...
Literally, I just don't think anybody actually knows what it is.
Anyway, you were saying something about...
Oh, well, I was just saying that, the tsunami after the hurricane thing, you already feel bad enough, and then having to explain it to people is just like, we broke up, I'm sad. It's really all you need to know.
Yeah, it makes sense, and I'm obviously not trying to say that you should explain it to me if you don't want to.
It's just, minute details. Overall, it's like, she was still a nice person. She'd just been treated terribly by a lot of people. And I think that led to her, like, because I was not an absolute piece of shit to her, like her previous relationships, she felt like she needed to hold on to me tighter and manipulate me because she was afraid of me leaving, I guess. But it's just like, it just turns into circular logic, and is basically the reason I ended it with the first person, is because it's like, are you just keeping me around because I'm better than people who are fucking horrible? That's kind of a shitty reason to be with somebody. With Lauren, it just feels like somebody who's on my even playing field. And we just talk all the time. It's just nice. I kind of feel like I had to hold back with Brandy in particular. Not so much Jill. But, I don't know, I felt like I held back I couldn't talk to them the way I talk to you. I talk to Lauren the way I talk to you, though. That's the real indicator, I think.
I don't know, it's like you can talk to someone like that and they can still end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like if I am able to talk to anyone the way I'm able to talk to you at any given time, that shouldn't, like, under any circumstances, disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, if it did, like...
If there's one thing that doesn't get better. It's anxiety, because you're constantly worried that you've done something wrong or that it'll end because you don't want it to end.
I've been there.
Like seriously, like every single day, like I've been this mix of like ecstatic that somebody actually, gives a shit. But at the same time, it's like I know how awful I would feel if this were to end the way things are. So I have to constantly worry about it because it's like, even though she gives no indication that that's the case, it is purely just my paranoia.
Yeah, well, I've been there and I haven't even been in a relationship.
Oh, it's shitty. Yeah, it's that feeling can apply to anybody.
It's just kind of universal when you're talking to somebody you like.
Mm-hmm.
It's just every time I like legitimately really wanted to be with someone, it seems to me like it is with you and Lauren, but the other person is just not there.
I get it.
It's easy. Like, you're obviously stepping on eggshells because that's what you do when it's starting.
You want to make you gotta peacock it up, man. Make yourself look good. Then once you're in the safety of confines of, like, if you were talking or you two were dating, you feel like you can open up a little bit more and not have to put on so much of a show.
Right, but nobody ever let me get to that stage.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's usually how it happens.
Just with the first one, it was 9 months of walking on eggshells, and with the second one, it was like a month of eggshells and then nothing. Just being like...
stepping on eggshells.
Yeah.
Just crushing them.
Yeah, and then being confused when someone was unattracted to how straightforward I was. What? You don't like me?
I hope that's how you responded. In every case. Okay.
I just feel like so much of the second one, the one.
Yeah.
I feel like that one hurt so much more because it was legitimately my fault. Like, she was just being friends with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nah.
I wouldn't even really say it's your fault. It's just, the tragedy of attraction. Just that a lot of times it's one-sided. And that's horrible.
The first one was a solid mixture of the two because she was dreadful. And I didn't get that.
I mean, hindsight is always 20/20 with stuff like that. Like, I mean, I remember, like, that was when I met you, and I remembered the way that you talked about her specifically. And it was like, it was with such conviction, and now you're just like, I was a fucking idiot. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it does to you. You just look back on everything, and you're like, wow, I could have handled that better. Lord knows I could have handled a lot of situations like that better in high school. I definitely had a couple of mine in my day, I'll tell you what.
Oh, you don't have to.
Well, I mean, and I don't even, I don't always often tell people about, people I just start talking to, because they usually end up leaving, just ghosting me. It's, doesn't exactly do wonders for your self-esteem, but, it's a really high number of people you talk to for a long time and then just drop you like you're nothing.
It's like I said, either yesterday or the day before, the fact that any of us try at all is genuinely bewildering to me.
At anything.
Because it is, specifically this in this case. It is just genuinely so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And, I refuse to believe that it's not difficult for everyone. There's some people that make it look so easy and it just happens.
Well, even people who are like, oh, well, we met freshman year of high school, we've been together ever since, and it was the first relationship we were ever in. That, to me, is a sign of a couple of things. One, you're probably both really naive and probably very, very sheltered. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's unlikely that two people would just pair together like that if something wasn't, emotionally up with that. But, what do I know? Most of what I know about love is from movies and books. Still have yet to, I think, genuinely experience the emotion. You think you know what it's called. And you can't, define it. So you think, like, whatever pops up, you're like, oh, that must be it. And you're like, oh, no. Huh. And you're just like, wow, I really haven't felt that for anybody. Did I just quote myself? I swear to God that my character in Circumstances said that exact same thing at one point.
Well, it's not you were writing somebody else, so...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's the good thing about having a diverse group of friends with lots of different lives, backgrounds, and problems. It's like a prepackaged character.
Plenty of
Those are
water.
Dwell of the Dark on Amazon, 99 cents.
Plenty of water in the well.
This is the water. This is the well.
I'm not sure that love exists in the way that people say it is.
I don't know.
When I say that, I mean for me, not for anyone else. Because I look at Alex and Olivia, and I look at Connor and Shane. I'm like, yeah, that's real for them. Like
it's only real until you actually find it.
And
I mean, I don't think it exists because I, like, the same way I don't think evil exists. I just think that's people.
I mean, I'm a year later. I'm still convinced that I have actually felt that for one person.
Understandable. And it's easier when you don't actually date them because you can sort of paint a picture of ideal circumstance in your mind that reality doesn't ever intrude on because it never got the chance to. So you can kind of indulge yourself more. Which makes things way worse. Way worse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mia. Fucking idiot. This mysterious powder, just let me snort it real quick.
You know, it's just like, the more people I see, and the more people I consider in my brain, it's like the more I think I'll never be able to get there again.
Yeah. I think, to be fair, you've experienced a healthy amount of growth in high school, so I think that that's inevitable in some ways that you would feel that way. And now we just kind of adopted the Rust Cohle philosophy, just not as negative. It's close. Not quite, though. Because for as much as I joke about it and pretend to be, I'm not really a nihilist. I'm just almost a nihilist. Like, good things still happen. They're fleeting, but they happen. If I was a nihilist, I'd honestly just fucking kill myself. I'm not even, like, trying to be hyperbolic here. It's like, what's the fucking point? You can't live like that.
I don't know, I think I believe in God too much to be a nihilist.
That also helps. Whether or not you can pronounce Adele Nazim. Oh, you fucking dumbass. Also, nice job rolling that.
I don't know if he's paying attention to us or calculating every single detail, or if he's abandoned us entirely, left us to our own devices. I don't know if that's even a way of quantifying it, but I believe he's up there. I don't know if I believe in a plan because there's just so much happening.
You heard it here, folks. Morgan's philosophy.
Yeah, it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Morgan will be ghostwriting the next Father John Misty album. I think everything you just said could have been a lyric in pure comedy. To endow this horror show with meaning.
I think like half of my disconnect with Father John Misty is he's literally the same guy as me.
it can be difficult to sort of face yourself like that. And I actually feel like I feel the same way, but I appreciate him more for challenging myself. So whenever I listen to pure comedy, it's not just something I watch because I enjoy, the music itself or his voice. I do. But, like, thought-wise, I like being pushed to my limits and being like, do I think this is pretentious? And if so, is that actually a bad thing? And does he actually have anything to say about this? Or is this all just the rantings and ramblings of a guy who thinks he's deep? But at the end of the day, I can just draw any conclusion from it, so it makes it kind of nebulous.
Yeah, I think you kind of really you're more like him than I am, just because of the verbosity that you two share, I suppose.
That's true.
I don't know, I'm not,
Heat, directed by Michael Mann.
as much as I consider myself a writer, I'm not really one for words.
It's tough. Like, honest to God, it's just, you just gotta do it more, and it gets easier. The most difficult thing, at least in my, like, I'm not saying that I'm like, I've conquered writing and I'm a great, like, no, fucking shut up. I'm bad. But the most difficult thing to conquer in writing is pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't really know, like, when I wrote novels in fucking middle school, it was all, like, the way I write is always very stream of consciousness, but even before then it was just like, I'd see something and be like, oh, I want to implement that into the story, whether or not it fits. And it just became this hodgepodge mishmash of weird inspirations, and I started in a place where I was a different person and ended in a place where I was a different person. But the one thing that was uniformly consistent about my writing from then is that everything happened so quickly, and I didn't relish in any moments. It was always just go, go, go. Now I try to, like, actively take moments to stop, to have moments where characters talk or they describe what they're seeing, and it helps. Oh God, that was terrible.
I think so much of, to backpedal the conversation
No.
a bit, I think so much of, like, my lack of luck with other people, I suppose, is just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. And that's what it is most often with, like, I think everybody in general, but because it's such a personal issue, you kind of just laser focus it back on yourself, because it's easier that way. Because if you're like us, you don't have a problem with hating yourself and blaming yourself. It's a perfect scapegoat so that you don't have to think about how terrible everything else is. It's like, I already know I'm bad, I might as well take responsible for it. We fucking Batman ourselves in the Dark Knight. Just like our Batman can take on all the sins. Thurman is just laying in the grass. Fun fact, audience, Uma Thurman's first movie was playing Venus in a Terry Gilliam movie. The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which also starred Robin Williams.
I reckon you can start off worse.
Oh, absolutely. Uma Thurman's just one of those... Uma Thurman's like Julianne Moore. Every other movie, she's really hot. And then every other movie, she's just not really. I mean, in Kill Bill, she's like peak hot. Anything after that?
Life sucks.
Yeah.
It's just hard being
Alive.
Life's anything.
A bitch and then you die. That's why we get high.
I don't know what to do about anything. Like, what do people do about stuff?
You and Jacob seem to be going through a similar issue where you just can't, like, latch on to something to do. Like, Jacob's been talking about trying to write something or do something for forever, and he just can't think of an idea, so he's just bored all the time. And he wants to, and I feel bad for him, because I'm lucky enough to have the inspiration gods sprinkle shit on me haphazardly, and me go, maybe I can make something good, I don't know. You just gotta find your thing and go with it.
Honestly, I almost don't know if I have a thing or if a thing is viable or. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm supposed to do something, right?
I mean, kinda? I guess, well, it's just the way you can make the most peace with yourself, I think. And hell, sometimes it gets you. I mean, like, fuck me. If I had written what I wrote, I wouldn't have gotten with Lauren at all. She was the one who messaged me about doing book covers, so if I never wrote that and posted that, wouldn't have happened. Which is fucking crazy to think about. It's like the only good omen that's happened to me this year. That's why I'm so suspicious of it. Because, you inevitably have the question when you're, like, with somebody. It's just like, well, I don't like myself, so this person's obviously too good for me, so I'm afraid. I'm not jealous or possessive, even slightly. I just doubt myself. Oh boy. This scene's really good.
Yeah. I really feel like it's one of the rare scenes in this movie that feels very genuine.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, it was a couple things. See, that shot right there, well, I mean, it moved past, but that shot right there was, like, eerily reminiscent of Train Spotting. The opening, at least, when they're sitting on the floor. When did Train Spotting come out?
96.
I know that movie's like a cult classic, but it really doesn't get its due.
Oh.
It's fucking pretty. Why the hell haven't I seen the second one yet? I was looking forward to that so much, and now I'm just like, oh yeah, that was a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Danny Boyle movie, I'll like it.
Like, I would be willing to say that that's probably, like, the most me movie in existence.
Train Spotting?
Yeah.
Fuck that, I want cook. I don't want cook. Beautiful.
Like, aside from the drugs, just the way that it, like, feels, you know?
Definitely one of the best and my favorite opening scenes and monologues. Choose life. Choose a job.
Like,
choose a family.
Like, not the drug part of it is me, you know?
No.
But, like, that monologue. It's just the
Something
whole...
I can see you writing.
It's the whole circular, endlessly useless part of, you know...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just the...
Yeah. Time is a flat circle.
All the time. Just... Well, how did anyone... How did anyone want to date me?
What is
for
that
real?
shit? Nietzsche, fuck you. All I need to do is fucking grow some sick-ass Matthew McConaughey hair. Get all the bitches. Would you lend me a Reese's cup, kind sir? I actually have a question.
Yeah.
What are you going to college for? I don't think I know.
I don't know either.
After I get out of film, I'm not sure what I'm going to do either. I just really hope I can manage to stay afloat on writing somehow.
So screwed.
Well, here's
I don't want to do
the good part, though.
anything.
That means you can A, be be saved. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Forget this is a thing.
What were you saying?
What were we talking about?
College.
Oh, you don't have to. You can be spared from having the whole like changing your major thing, which happens to like literally everybody who isn't 100% certain what they want to do. So just take basic classes and find something that appeals to you when you're doing it. That's my philosophy.
Like, I thought about going into being a veterinary technician for a while, and then, well, I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian for like ever, but then I found out the average veterinarian is like 500 grand in debt. So no, I thought about being a veterinary technician, but none of the schools I want to go to offer that. And I thought about going into education, like being a teacher.
Pays shit.
Yeah, well, not that. I don't really care about that. I just hate people and their children. And that's an issue. So, I don't want to do anything but play in a band.
Holy shit.
It's not like that's going to work out.
It could. Get some other form of success and then build from it that way. I made a YouTube comment that apparently got really... Not everybody's responding to it. It's fucking weird.
Great.
Stop paying attention to me, Internet. Why do you like the things that I say? The things that I say are only for me and Morgan.
And you know your girlfriend, don't forget.
Oh, yeah. Main difference here, though, being is that I've known you for longer. I mean, like, know you. Technically, I met Lauren before I mean, she was in my media arts class in freshman year. You know what we need to talk about right now? Christopher Walken's fucking hair. In the scene.
I'm really fine with not.
It's the fucking... Like, did you walk off of the fucking Godfather 2 extras? Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Like, really, I spend so much time being sad about girls, but then I'm like, what are they supposed to do with this?
Turn it into something eventually. I did the same thing. I'm telling you, the thing that pulled me through the last half of senior year was you and writing a book. And it wasn't something that I half-assed. I actually did it, which was, like, weird, because I never finish things. Now I'm actually finishing things.
I spend so much time, or spent, rather, just being wrapped up in, like, girls like me. I'm not that bad, right? You know, like,
we all go there.
And then I'm like, more recently, I'm like, why would anyone want to be anywhere near this at any given time?
I feel that there is a bit of a separation there. Like, you can't... I still feel like if you're trying to talk to a girl, you specifically, you sort of put on... Like, you don't act the way that you genuinely feel. You kid about it, get in some good self-deprecation humor because, that's just the way it is, but I don't feel like you put on a wave of misery unless it's deliberately intentional.
I suppose. It's like something that Connor and David told me the other day. It's just like girls don't really care about how you look. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's like, you just gotta act confident.
What?
So I'm just like, okay, so I have to lie?
I've always thought the expression fake it till you make it was some serious bullshit. Because it is. I stand by that. I think it's horse shit.
Well, not faking it hasn't gotten me anywhere.
You're right. I mean, might as well try the approach.
Oh, I'm done trying.
I just abandon all sense of being confident. I mean, I can portray it, but it's like I don't change the way I feel. I still feel like shit. I'm always going to feel like shit. That's the way it is. In the lightweight division, in the right corner wearing the blue trunks. 210 pounds, my ass.
The whole thing's circular and it makes me sleepy.
Tends to.
I wish there was a way out. But there ain't.
In the words of Rust Cole, I lack the constitution for suicide. I think it would be in our self-interest to simply stop reproducing, walk gently into that good night.
It really sounds overly hyperbolic and absurdly dramatic to say that I agree with that sentiment, but... And I don't suppose I do, really. But for my own purposes, absolutely.
I get it. It's kind of when people complain about True Detective specifically, is Matthew McConaughey's like, well, he's like such a pretentious asshole, nobody talks that way, and I'm like, did you actually watch it? Like, the show doesn't frame him like he's supposed to be this guy who you think is A, a good person, B, a relatable person, or C, a nice person. He's a terrible person. Like, he is pretentious. Like, all of the bad shit that happened to him in his life made him that way, and everyone thinks he's a pain in the ass. So if you think he's a pain in the ass, it's indicative of how they write the character. It's not like in Rent where they just frame all the characters as, like, heroes and you hate all of them. It's like, no. The show does not say that this is a good person or that this is an admirable way of thinking. It's like, no, this guy's fucked up. This is why he does what he does.
I guess it's just the gamut you run of,
trying to do something different.
Trying to do something different and letting people think.
I'm not saying it's like, because people often mistake, like, oh, you're just saying that because you think you're smart. You can interpret. It's like, no, I just know what they were doing. It's really not that hard.
Excuse me for not enjoying. I don't know what I was saying.
It's okay. I kind of get where you're coming from. I just don't like the notion that characters can't be something. Because it's like, so you just are basically saying you want the same shit. It's like, you can't take risks with characters because then it's weird and then people don't like it. Fucking... That's how stories work. That's how art works. You gotta push boundaries, make things different.
Just don't let everybody else, but select few people who enjoy stuff like True Detective just want the whole goddamn story spoon-fed to them like they're a bunch of back-birth fucktards. Like, I don't understand why you people are so vehemently opposed to thinking.
Well, it's not like entertainment and pop media in general. I'm not saying this is a bad thing because it's a good thing. I enjoy plenty of it.
It has its place.
It has its place because
if everything was True Detective, nobody would watch anything.
That's true. And like, if you want something that can be spoon-fed to you and is easy to read, you have plenty of that. Go somewhere else. This is for people who want something different. It's not better or worse. It's just different. I just don't understand, like, the inherent judgment that lies there. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would you try and stop something from being different? Ugh.
Because everything has to appeal to me. Me only. If the thing doesn't appeal to me, it's bad. Should be set on fire.
I just like thinking about things. That's something funny. It's why everybody's going apeshit over Gerald's Game. It's why it has like a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's because people don't look that deeply into shit, and so the ending doesn't bother them the way it did us. We just watched the Netflix movie Gerald's Game, and we both have many thoughts on it.
I really just have the one.
I was just about to say, I just have.
Pisses me off.
The ending is bad.
It's bad and stupid and ruins the whole thing. It's fucking retarded.
It doesn't even like have a beat either. Like, there's no change to that. Like, you really just think she's talking, and then the movie's gonna end, and then just suddenly she just reveals to you that this massive part of the movie is different. Or like, what I'm sorry, did I miss a line? I actually like rewound it because I was like, did I miss a sentence here somewhere? It's like, oh yeah, and here's a plot twist. Thanks. Shit.
I'm really tired of bad entertainment.
It's kind of like when my mom was like, "Oh yeah, we haven't had cable for the past month." I was like, "I didn't even notice." She's like, "I didn't either." Because we don't fucking watch TV. Because all of it sucks. And if you're going to argue and say that I'm being pompous or pretentious, Young Sheldon is a thing. Shut up. You do not get to argue with me on this.
Just all of it. It isn't. Breaking Bad is just appealing to the lowest common denominator.
I mean,
You know, I guess that makes me sound like Rust Cole when I'm a pretentious asshole, and I really could not be asked to care what you think.
well, that's the thing. It's why shows like that are so genius, because they have the appeal of shows like True Detective and can attract people towards it because of how well made it is and well written. But it also somehow knows to appeal to a bunch of other people too, because it's like, here are all these nuances and characters and stories, and if you're looking for that kind of stuff, you can appreciate it. If you just want a story that, if you just want The Sopranos again, but, with Bryan Cranston, here you go. It's a very strangely specific type of story. You had The Sopranos, you had Breaking Bad, now you have Ozark. It's all the same. In a good way, but still, it's basically the same. Just replace the crimes and some of the different characters, but that's it.
I feel like lately I've just been that pompous, pretentious douchebag that you find on all the forums that...
Those are the people that comment on your reviews.
Completely disregard what other people are saying. You're just like, this should be better in this way, and if you don't like it this way, you're wrong.
It's because nobody understands what the fuck subjectivity is or means. Like, they just don't get somebody could think something different about the way they do. And of course, I'm going to throw tirades all the time about it, like, oh, this person said this was shit, but this was good, and it sucks. That's more from an analytical standpoint. On a personal level, it's like, I couldn't be fucked to ask. If they like it, then fucking like it. I don't care. If you hate it, then fucking hate it. Who am I to tell you you can't? This fucking... Okay. Just briefly back to the movie. This woman is the purest angel. I love her.
She does not belong in this film.
Yeah. This is not a movie of pure angels. This movie was made, like, by anybody else, or today, she'd die.
Yeah.
It would have to be tragic. That is kind of why I like Pulp Fiction, too, because it doesn't indulge in being, like, up its own ass like that. It knows what it is. Keenly aware, even. Whereas another thing would just be like, well, she's the symbol of innocence, and because all of the other characters are corrupt, she lives in a world that can't tolerate her, so she dies. Like, gee, I haven't seen that one fucking before.
No, we like those stories well enough. You get movies like that, and we go nuts over it.
Yeah. But sometimes it's just like, sometimes they do it just for the sake of, like, indulging in themselves. I feel like you have to do it correctly. Like, when you go into being that level of dark, like, you better be good behind it. Like, Prisoners. I would not want a movie to be that dark, miserable, and bleak if it didn't have the technical and writing qualities that it would need to get by on. If it was made by people who didn't know how to, like, write things, it would just be fucking ridiculous.
Oh man, how do people just do things?
It's very odd. With college, there comes this weird autonomy to all your actions, because in high school, you just still feel like a part of the system. You're all the kids from the Another Brick in the Wall music video, and then you get to college and you're like, wow, I'm doing these things with my own volition. I'm going to classes and going to the bathroom without raising my hand. And I don't have to be talked down to, like, by a fucking sheep herder. Metaphors. Man, remember when Bruce Willis tried?
Nope, was not alive.
Yeah, he has kind of phoned it in ever since both of us have been alive. Even in Unbreakable, no. Samuel Jackson's the heart of that movie, not Bruce Willis. Am I wrong?
I believe he's just stuck his fingers in it.
Fabienne? Fabienne?
Yeah, speak American. Tom Petty's dead.
Twice.
Christ.
Maybe he'll come back a third time and write a song about dying twice. That would be the most Tom Petty thing.
What are we supposed to do? We all just die.
Oh, I think that about that a lot. It's really just comes down to two opposite perspectives. You can view life as a burden that you did not ask for because it will end and it will be frightening, or you can view it as you got chosen to exist rather than not exist, so might as well make the most of it. Either camp is pretty understandable if you ask me.
I imagine I'll switch from that first one to the second one after I get out of the machine.
Yep, that's kind of what happened with me. Oral pleasure.
Bruce Willis is naked.
Yep, a little bit.
It's weird.
Yeah. He's like not. He's got
hard
like good
to look
arms,
at, yeah.
but he's not like. I've never once heard any woman ever say Bruce Willis is sexy. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
And probably for good reason.
Nice penis.
For like one frame. That happened like what? Don't. Oh, Sharon Stone in
Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct. That's the movie pause moment.
Oh yeah.
I looked up that scene. There ain't shit.
No, it's not.
Like, why are people obsessed with that? It's really odd. It's like you literally just can't see anything. You know that, right?
Yeah, it's also not very sexually appealing.
It's also Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson is completely naked and under the skin. Go.
Why you even bother?
Yeah.
With this.
And she doesn't get naked, but man, when she was making out with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Don John, that was some shit. It's kind of like when the redhead girl, Harry Potter's girlfriend in Horns, got naked in the treehouse, and I was just like, oh my god. Are you real?
It's like, You're not like the archetype of sexy, but like,
You are.
I'm feeling many things in all areas. And I think like half of that has to do with the way the scene is shot and lit, and David Bowie's Heroes.
The movie has an exquisite soundtrack.
The movie's pretty good.
That movie is pretty good. Why do people not like
I
it?
don't know.
I mean, it's because the like. No, I don't even have a reason. I just got nothing. And fucking Daniel Radcliffe is really fucking good in it.
I mean, like, the twist is kind of lame.
Yeah, you can tell that coming from a mile away, but the journey there is pretty solid. It's all about. It's a movie or a story really that's just all about pathos.
The book's really good.
I haven't read it yet.
Hojo.
Also, did you like the 2 meta king references in Gerald's game? She called the dog Cujo.
Yeah, and then there was one about the beam or whatever.
The beam?
From Dark Tower.
Oh, yeah. Was that the one that's in the... Like, they mentioned something in the radio at the beginning. I don't remember what it is specifically.
No, I don't remember.
Like, when they're in the car, I remember being like, oh, I think they're probably talking about this. Oh, it might have been Dreamcatcher, actually. Could be.
Well, anyway, the Cujo one was like really Flanagan. He's taken On the Nose to like several new levels.
I think it's a safe bet that, like, I still, again, it's fascinating to me how Stephen King has become so popular that no one has read him, everyone has an opinion on him, but if you use his name in a trailer for a movie based off of one of his books, it gets more people to see it. How in the fuck does any of that work?
I don't know. It's like he's not even real.
No, it's just like he's whatever people want him to be. He's a fucking boggart. A writing boggart.
And then I just like to watch interviews with him where he's just like, I like baseball.
He's just like, I mean, I write for myself.
That's why some of it's not good. It's just for me.
It's like when you write as many books as King has, you're allowed to have a couple shit ones because the law of averages is gonna be against you no matter how good you are. And even some of his best work is kind of weird in points. Like, legitimately, if that didn't have the sewer orgy thing, I think I might like that more than The Stand. But it's just kind of a pimple on an otherwise beautiful face. The face of Bill Skarsgård. You want it back?
Lord, I'm gay.
Oh, poor girl. Which don't be such a dickhole.
Look at that watch went through more than he did.
Yeah. That's not how man read works, Mr. Willis.
Oh, homie, just go back and check your place.
Don't be. She's so sad. She got big puppy dog eyes. Don't stop it, Bruce. Oh, he made her hide. What? Stop it. Butch.
Oh, I thought there was a
Damn.
TV.
Did you see those legs? Holy shit.
Yeah, that was nice. That was...
Holy shit. That was like, I did not expect that. I was just like, whoa, are you a model?
Not that gay.
That was quick.
It was confusing being in my brain, dude. It's like always sensory overload.
Yeah, I hate that. You're thinking things all the like I have this fucking narrator voice stuck in my head. I hate you. You little shit.
It's just my dad calls it the hamster wheel.
It's a beautiful metaphor, actually.
We both have generalized anxiety disorder, so it's just always just.
We are all hamsters. Good thing you apologized. Honey, I believe you, but my Tommy gun don't. References. Are you gonna start like... Oh. It's like my top 3 songs on that album.
And then there's just up one fret is.
Oh shit. Jake and Morgan really like Brand New. Shocking. Losing all my friends. Can you even... well, I know you ranked them, but what's your favorite song on every Brand New album individually?
Logan Government Center, Me versus Maradona versus Elvis.
That's a good one. It's a fucking title short. Sewing season? Not the sun?
Yeah, not the sun. You stole Batter Up.
It's really hard for me to pick one in science fiction. I mean, I want to go Batter Up, but I feel like I've listened to... I might go same logic. Teeth. That one's probably it. For Devil and God, it's... Oh, that was nice. For Devil and God... Oh, I heard like the... For Devil and God, it's probably Luca. For Deja, it's either Quiet Things That No One Ever Knows or... Jawstein Swimming. The one with Jude Law in A Semester Abroad. What am I? Daisy. Gasoline. I didn't forget any, did I? Go listen to brand new. They be good. Can you give me those opening? Can you give me the opening Punisher chords to 1? That's hot. Ooh, that's hot. This imprisoning me while I see you so far. Hey, look. Speaking of Tommy, that's an Uzi, but Tommy gun. Here's your favorite part, Morgan. I love the look on his face here, like that dumb shit left his gun out here.
Is it really? What is this, fucking amateur hour? His face is just like, excuse me, I'll just go back right in here.
That was nice.
I think if you named literally any song, any brand new song that isn't off of your favorite weapon or science fiction, and most of Daisy, I could probably play it.
You can still do science fiction pretty well from what I can tell. Can you do 451?
I'll learn it right now. It's probably
Or
not,
137?
It's probably not tapped up for it yet.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Melodica. This looks like when Leonard leaves the hotel in Memento.
Oh yeah. Speaking of a movie that's better than this.
Agreed, actually. Like, I mean, I prefer this movie and like it more, but Memento is just, I can't. There's like maybe 6 movies I'd say that are better than that. Maybe. Just looks like the industrial part of Lexington. Ew.
Love that song.
Ving Rhames. Motherfucker. He says everything with maximum lip. This looks like that scene from Spider-Man. That's a butt chin if I ever saw one. The girl was talking to him. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
She just immediately like, well, time to run. My favorite Quentin Tarantino trope is the innocent bystanders that get horribly, horribly injured in his movies. Hateful Eight, it's poor Obi. In Reservoir Dogs, it's that lady who shoots Tim Roth. Yo, Quentin, when we gonna get that movie with the chainsaw? We know it's coming.
It's a nice flag. That's a really good punch. I don't know if he's not bleeding yet. He kind of is. You're in his shop.
Yeah, it's drag him out. God, that is just the worst shop. This looks like it was a location for like the fucking Macklemore thrift shop video. I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. Ow.
You can touch any of the guitars on that wall for... You'd have to pay me.
They're covered in Confederacy.
They're not even that, they're just garbage guitars.
Okay. What, you ain't find no Les Pauls there or something? Of course his name's Maynard. James Keenan. Oh. That's just unfortunate. Hey everybody. Can you tell that Quentin Tarantino likes exploitation movies? Can you tell that? Can you tell it? I don't know if I know that or not. This just actually looks like a scene in Hostel. That movie sucks.
Now we arrive at the section of the Pulp Fiction commentary where Morgan plays Tool, a band that he doesn't like.
But by Jane Maines Keenan.
Canard Mains...
Jane Mansfield. That's the one.
I like that dude. I don't like his band.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. It's very rare for me to like someone and not like their music. I think the inverse happened with Corey Taylor, is that I didn't like Slipknot. Found out who Corey Taylor was. Now I like Slipknot. Amazing. My God, that dude looks like straight up Matthew McConaughey in Frailty.
Mm. Oh, we mate. Maynard. You know, it's not actually his name.
What is it?
I think it's just James. But that's something people started calling him when he was in the army.
Maine. That's such an army nickname. Yeah. You can imagine like the Full Metal Jacket crew branding somebody with that. I love how this shot implies subtle, like, is, like, Ving Rhames is not shorter than Bruce Willis.
Yeah, right.
Like, he has to be slumped down.
Bet he's in that chair from Casino Royale where the seats cut out of it.
It's my favorite scene in that movie.
Yeah, it's the one I enjoy watching the least.
Oh, yeah. Just because it finally let, fucking Dutch McVillain man play a villain.
Makes mad Dulce.
Yeah. Of course, they just have a gimp.
Yeah, I mean...
In a box. They just have him there.
It's my gimp in a box. God damn, I'm funny. Oh, I wish I was dead. I can't feel my leg.
Got polio. Can't feel my legs. Got polio.
My mother says that I was a bird.
It fucking sucks. Polio. Next time on Game Grumps. It's like another favorite Game Grumps trope of mine is Aaron says something outrageously inappropriate and Dan just goes, next time on Game Grumps.
It's really amazing that those two found each other.
What's that fucking Wes Anderson pan? Every time that happens in a movie, I just want to like put a slide whistle there so it's.
It's like that part in Nostalgia Critic review of Signs. I swear that's my favorite scene in that movie. Where that old dude's just like, well, you should be getting your toes sucked by beautiful women. Like, what?
Like, Shyamalan, it is clear you have never been below the Mason-Dixon line in your life.
Who the what?
I don't care how far south you go. No one fucking says that.
She's like, what is the thought process of writing that line?
I got nothing. Hey, come around here often.
Honestly, how much better would this scene be if the Gimp didn't stand there all weirdly like that? He was just like, "Sup?"
Hey.
He did the sup, bro.
How you doing?
You ever just think about how terrible, like, the first two Fantastic Four movies are?
Mm-hmm. Because I watched, like, the first one all the time, because it was on it was another one that was on FX all the time. And I saw the second one in theaters. Yeah, they blow.
I think I saw both of them in theaters.
And I didn't really, like, upon revisiting them, I was just kind of like, well, yeah, the first one was pretty much as bad as I remember it being. And I was like, yeah, second one's probably not going to be that bad. Funny that.
Yeah. It was rated PG. I still think about that sometimes. It's so weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Was the first one?
Nope.
That's so fucking weird.
I'm sure the first one would have been if, that it wasn't for that part where Jessica Alba takes your clothes off.
And that happened in both.
Oh.
Yeah, they do it twice. it kind of baffles me that it's like when Victor Von Doom shows up in the second one and everybody's like, well, don't worry, we're just gonna work with him now, and I'm like,
What did you think was gonna
like everybody knows who he is, and he killed people.
Like that's legitimately like the Joker showing up halfway through
Dark Knight Rises and I'm
Like-
helping Batman.
and then just being like, "Yeah, guys, I'm on your side now."
It's like,
What did you think was what?
it makes no fucking sense.
Like even when I was like 7 or whenever the second Fantastic Four came out, and I liked every movie that I saw.
Yeah.
I was just like, that one's not as good as the first one.
And the first one just drags to get to that third act, which is kind of cool because you get to see people using their powers. And, like, I don't really mind that it's cheesy because it's the Fantastic Four. Of fucking
Yeah.
course it is. But the real... Wow, I never really noticed this, like, oh, this fucking cuck.
Just think about how weird this is.
Yeah.
Like we completely take it for granted because we've all seen it like
Mhm.
1,000 times, but this is very strange.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's so awesome.
Yeah. Look at, dude, he's legit like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
God, I love Michael Keaton so much.
He was nuts in Spider-Man. Go ahead, reach for
Imagine that.
Oh.
Imagine that felt good.
Again, I get it, but not only would he be dead at that range, he would be two separate
Yeah.
pieces. And if he was somehow alive and his spine was still combined to his hips somehow, it's like you wouldn't even feel anything at that
Yeah.
point. Just be like, well, there's my penis.
Mm.
There.
There's my
There.
legs.
They put him in the gimp suit. Take him out of sight. Just one starts playing and it's take him my legs, take him my arms. He's just a corpse. Bruce Willis.
He's like, I should be going now. Imagine there's no better way to put aside differences
Yep.
than butt rape.
That'll kind of do it. If this was any other movie, we'd have to have a conversation of like Bruce Willis being like, "Hey, Ving Rhames, don't kill me. I saved your life, and I could have left." And then he would like put down the gun, and then this scene would happen. Instead of him just assuming and intuiting like, "Oh, he came back and he could have left me, so I'm gonna let him go, and I'm not gonna say it out loud because why would the information that is given to the audience need to be repeated again? Because you're not stupid." Poor Gimp.
Didn't do nothing to nobody.
Nope.
Bye.
Just doesn't look like the little Vulcan, like, live strong and prosper.
No.
Grace.
It really is disgusting.
Yep. I always imagine what happened after this was when he's like, Zed's dead, baby, and then like 10 minutes later she's like, okay, but what did you mean by that? Did you kill somebody? I mean,
Well,
I killed someone. I didn't kill Zed.
it's really, it's complicated.
Starring Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep. Yes, that is a movie, folks.
Yeah, seen the trailer. I don't know what DVD it was on, but
It was on one of them.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
1,000. God, she's precious.
It's a motorcycle.
It's,
Put your dick away.
he's riding it. You better be good to her, Butch, goddammit. No! She's just a sensitive little flower. Weird kind of falls low on my list of adjectives to describe what
Yeah.
happened.
But I guess if she's gonna,
I mean, it's on the list, but
I guess if he's gonna summarize.
but what did you mean by that?
She's like, excuse me, sir, but what? How did you tell me the story now? God, California's so butt ugly.
Just looks like 90s of the city.
Looks like San Andreas, but the graphics are actually accurate.
Oh, God. This motherfucker.
This is the first time I've sat down and watched this whole movie. Like
Really?
in one sitting. I always break it up because it's,
Yeah.
not the best paced. And I don't think it needs to be in this case. This is one of the rare instances where it actually works somewhat in its favor. But
I never understood the obsession with everybody being like, well, when I watch Pulp Fiction, I try to put all the pieces together in order and stuff. I'm like, the film is so intuitive in how it uses cinematic language. I don't think I was ever confused at when things were happening.
I really don't think it's not Memento.
No, it's just like, yeah, they're out of order, but it's like all the characters are clearly wearing different things. Different things happen and intersect, and you see them happening at different times and places. Like here, it's like it's pretty obvious.
I'll pull him off.
The Martian.
It is really not that hard, son. You just have to try. It's my favorite part of this entire movie.
was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
It's like it's really not that hard to hit people when you're shooting them that close, but it's also not that hard to completely miss.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have your eyes closed and you're scared shitless.
Also, I feel like if he was holding the revolver like that, he would have shot one bullet and then it would have just fly out of his hands.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the most stable revolver of all time. My friend.
Taking a gun out. Speaking of movies that I don't like as much as this.
Why did I imagine Connor
Why
saying
did they
that?
take Marvin?
I don't know.
I had $1 for every time I've seen this scene.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
John, get the hair out of your mouth. Get it out. It's in your mouth.
My eyes are wide fucking open.
The hair's on his mouth now.
I said don't do that. I don't give a damn if it does. What do you make of all this? I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
Think that God came down from heaven and stopped? Wham!
That is fucking marinara sauce.
Yeah. It tastes great.
Marvin's delicious. What it must have been like to see this moment for the first time and like be surprised by it. Be like, this is some straight up Shane Black shit.
Said no one ever during a Tarantino movie.
You just shot that man. Well, yeah, told me there's a 6% chance. 6? Who taught you math? Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's best movie ever.
It's better than this.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I agree. I mean, it's in my top 10. I ain't contesting.
That is a very valid point. There's sign, my garage. It says dead nigger storage.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino.
You are just the most uncomfortable. Like, not even the movies, just you.
Him even dropping the N-bomb does not bother me in this as much as his awful Australian accent does in Django.
Oh,
It's so bad. He's like, I know what you doing there, my dog friend. It's like, are you also slow?
you sounded like what's his name from Oliver?
Oliver. Oh, the guy that Tom Hardy played in a version of that.
No, I don't know about that, but it's whoever the villain was,
Yeah.
and he had that dog.
Yeah. Fucking terrifying cockney bastard. Get over here. Do it. Come on. Quentin Tarantino looks like an alien.
Yeah, he's not like real.
His forehead is like a solid third of his face.
Yeah, that's like there's something happening.
Oh, yeah. I just like inadvertently did like an Opeth vocal there for a sec.
No, stop repetition. The brain of sound.
It's like in my top 5 Opeth songs right there.
It's hard to argue with.
Think Ghost Reveries might have 2. Can't remember the other one's name.
Reverie, Harlequin Force,
Harlequin Force is a little long.
Bang of the Hounds, Grand Conjuration. No, nobody likes that one.
And which one?
Grand Conjuration.
Yeah, that one's the worst one.
Um,
Still gave that album a 4.5 because it's awesome.
Hours of Wealth, Isolation Years, Atonement, Beneath the Mire.
Hours of Wealth is the shit. There's really not an Opeth song on the good albums anyway that I dislike. Just ones that I'm like, that was good, but the other ones are better.
I mean,
that's exactly what the Grand Conjuration is. It's just like every other song is better than this, but this isn't bad.
you know, the other... God, excuse me. The only ones I've heard of Ghost Reveries in full is Ghost of Perdition, because that's like a live staple.
That's long. It's a long song.
Yeah.
Is Opeth's longest song the one on Morning Rise?
Well, after it was Immortal, yep. 20 minutes.
That one's pretty alright. Not my favorite one on the
I was
album.
quite fond of it.
I liked it.
I mean, it's Advent is obviously the best one.
Yes. I'm trying to think. What? I didn't even pick a favorite for My Arms, Your Hearse. Where it be? So scrolling through my phone. Motorhead, 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 Queen. And Opeth, Opeth, Opeth. There we go. April Ethereal is a really good, really good track. Credence, that's up there. Madrigal, up there. Karma, definitely up there. Every song is badass. On Blackwater Park, my favorite song has always been Dirge of November.
That's like one of my least favorite ones.
I don't know, I really like it.
Just every single part of Bleak is like the single greatest composition
In
known
music.
to man.
In music. Don't fucking shut up. Where is the Blackwater Park? Every time I scroll through the B section of my albums and I see the Blush LP for Wolf Alice, and I'm just like, oh, yep, that's a naked woman.
I feel things.
Oh, yes. Good things. Let's see. Yeah, Leper Affinity's pretty fucking great. Bleak is great. Harvest and Dirge for November are probably my favorites. Funeral Portrait is close. And Patterns in the Ivy 1 and 2 were great. Harvey Keitel. Please don't die. I like you too much. Be in more movies.
I have seen your penis.
Bad Lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I've seen Tom Hardy's because of Bronson.
Michael Foss boner.
Yep. Hard not to see. God, Shame is just a thoroughly uncomfortable film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to watch it again because of how much I loved it. But it's just like, oh yeah, that movie makes me feel miserable and gross.
Yeah, I've wanted to watch it again since I got that Blu-ray.
Yeah, I need to watch it on a screen. I feel bad that I haven't seen a Steve McQueen movie on a larger screen than my iPhone.
Yeah.
David Lynch would be sad.
I'd like to, but, you know, there's always the chance of my parents walking in. And pretty much any time my parents walk in while that movie's playing, it's a bad time.
Yeah, there's not, like... when your like least uncomfortable scene is uncomfortably long stare between naked sister and brother. It's hard to watch. Maybe they'll come in on the 5.5 minute shot of Michelle Williams singing.
Yeah, I was thinking that's like
Love that scene.
It's like the only okay one they could come in on.
Yep. It seems great. Normally I was just like, this is gonna be forever, and I'm like, no, it was pretty great.
Yeah,
I like it.
It was worth it.
So many albums on my phone.
Yeah. Favorite Opeth song?
Ever probably. Damn. Yeah, I think it's In My Time of Need. That's the one that sticks with me the most.
Yes, legit. For me, it's a toss-up between like 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a bunch that are right behind it.
There's like Bleak, A Fair Judgment, Deliverance, Hope Leaves,
Damn it.
and there was one I was thinking about literally 2 seconds ago.
I was about to say Movie Screen, but no, Movie Screen is the Apocalypsis Chelsea Wolfe closer, ending credits. I know, but I was thinking of ending credits, not movie screen. I just associated movie things.
That's an instrumental track, so it doesn't.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I am typically not a fan of instrumental tracks. I just see them as almost always filler.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why I have the last album by the 1975 at like a 3. Is because every instrumental track I'm like, alright, cool.
Funny enough, I like all of those. Like, I don't skip them anymore. I definitely used to.
Maybe I'll get used to them. But I mean, whenever I want to listen to that album, I just end up listening to Ballad of Me in My Brain, Somebody Else, and Love Me. Because Love Me's got that fucking, the hook, the guitar riff at the beginning that's like straight out of a George Michael song.
It's not a solid 4.5 for that one. Maybe even a 5 as time passes even more. Because there's not one that I've like really ever stopped listening to since I found it.
For me, it was mostly just Somebody Else because Sad Boy.
Well, yeah, but the whole last 5 or 6 songs on that album is just absolute
Quality.
gold.
No worry, Anthony Fantano gave it a 4. So.
Who?
Antoine Fandango.
Who?
Melon.
Oh, yeah, that guy, yeah, he sucks.
Melon. The best teeth in the game. I'm not even gonna lie, I enjoy his meme review videos more than his music reviews.
Well, considering that his music reviews are memes themselves.
Dude, have you, like, I swear to God, every review of his comment section, I just look at and I'm like, and cancer? Yep, I have it now.
I start chemotherapy next week.
Like, you just look at it and it's just like, alright, how long does it take for somebody to say, you gave this a blank but gave damn a 7? Or commenting on him being a melon? Or something about the self-aware, meme-ish nature of the video itself. Let's wait till later. Yes.
I really cannot believe that somebody didn't just make a trip to Walmart.
He's like, I know something. I know a thing or two about showing my bare ass. I have my bare ass and the my bare ass. I mounted that.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a shot. Had to Little John.
He's so
Ugh.
He's so nasty.
I'm just trying to stare at Samuel Jackson's hair to keep my mind off of John Travolta here. Because he's just gross.
He just looks like a porn producer.
He does look like he belongs in Boogie Nights. How is he not in Boogie Nights?
I don't
That's
know.
such an obvious casting choice.
I don't know. I feel like there might be like two on though.
Maybe. Honestly, John Travolta is a poor man's Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
To be fair, he's got the same like. Come on, guys! We gotta make this so fresh. I have Optimus Prime in my garage. You know, I think he's a transformer. Cracks the Bud Light
Thank
thing.
you for that.
Is this your car? What does that scene even mean? Michael Bay was just like, let's just show some Bud Light cans, and Mark Wahlberg gonna angrily crack one at Stanley Tucci for reasons. I miss the old days of the whole plate. I ate the whole plate.
The fifth one came out this year.
And no one talked about it. Everybody said it was just as bad as the others, but nobody talked about it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're moving on as a species. Biggest summary movies this year were the fucking bomb. We had Baby Driver, Planet of the Apes, fucking Dunkirk. I'm trying to think of like, does Wonder Woman count? June?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Spider-Man: Homecoming, Guardians.
Yeah, we did all right.
They're definitely better than last year.
Yeah. Isn't that funny, Harvey?
He's Harvey Keitel. He can laugh whenever the fuck he wants.
No, I'm not questioning bad. Just questioning bad.
What are those two dogs just doing there? So somebody feed those dogs. Go help those dogs. Why did he like put out his hand like he wanted Harvey Keitel to kiss
I
it?
don't know.
You just kind of have to shake it.
Well, if there's any hand that Harvey Keitel's gonna kiss, it's
Wow.
Sam Jackson's.
She has a really nice butt.
Yep.
In the words of Michael Corleone himself, she got a great ass.
It's my favorite gif in the world.
Just because you can practically feel him touching an imaginary ass. I'm method. I don't know how, but Pacino he's got the.
Yeah.
Man, the breakfast looks good. I want to go to Denny's.
I could kill several people for some hash browns.
Or tater tots.
Hash browns.
They're the same thing.
No,
Yeah, they are.
no. It's like saying potato chips and french fries is the same thing.
I mean, not really. Tater tots and hash browns are just shaped differently.
I've lost this argument.
Yes, man.
Shh.
You filthy animal. Hey, don't talk about Oliver Platt like that. And this
I
is
just really wanted to let the silence hang in the air after you said that. It's like you said that, and so many thoughts ran through my mind. Like Fargo, pig's blood, Oliver Platt, pig himself, Greek. Greeks are gross. Fargo season 1 is really good. Oliver Platt is weird.
He was also Hades in a Wonder Woman cartoon.
Hades and Wonder Woman cartoon.
Yeah, and the Hades in that show is modeled after him. Like, he looks like an animated Oliver Platt. It's really weird.
Oliver Platt is animated enough as it is, so.
Fargo showed that. I think everybody in Fargo's animated. Even that scum of the earth redhead from Breaking Bad. It was good in season 2, but I was like, I still can't like you. It's impossible. I love the trope here of, like, John Travolta misses all the important parts of this movie's plot because he has to go take a shit. Happens every time.
I mean, he dies because he has to.
Yeah, if he didn't have to take a shit. If he didn't leave his little Uzi Vert music. Morgan is suffocating himself, and he's gone.
Death Rattle.
What now?
Death Rattle.
I thought you said Death Cab, and I was like, for Cutie?
Great band.
Maybe for Cutie.
Great band. Just saying.
Awesome. Oh shit. Can you imagine just coming back and be like, what did I miss? Except when it's not.
Where does he think people make decisions? Do you think they just clear their whole plate and then like, okay, it's time to think about this?
I eat the whole plate. The whole plate. The whole plate. I just love that they had revolvers. Jules is not even
Just
flinching.
not even a little bit impressed. Well, that's just rude.
Yuppie.
I didn't do anything to you.
You gotta love this music. Execute. She keeps saying execute. Kills me.
Why are they drawing this out so much?
I don't know. Like, the manager's just like, we're insured, just fucking take it.
They've gotten the money out of the register, out of everyone's pockets, and been gone by now. Maybe my favorite smash cut in any movie.
I would just love if he was reading, like, men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Feet.
Yes, Mr. Roth.
Yes, Mr. Mulberry.
Mulberry.
The hangman in these parts. Cellular phone. Oh, 1994.
Yes, you did, Brett. Yes, you did.
Yes, you did, Britch. Just everybody comes out with revolvers. This is truly Trump's America. I just love the chef in the background of that shot.
What a girl.
Just look at him. He just wants to leave. A flashlight.
Giant cone dildo.
That's really stupid. Tell that fucking bitch to chill. I think the last adjective I would use to describe Henry Winkler is cool.
It's low on the list.
The first word, of course, being a.
Not a word.
It's a sound. Sound of the fans. Or when you want to ask Marvin a question.
Mm.
Jules Winfield, the master of really...
Shut up!
Okay,
Why are you
Dan.
talking over this?
You've seen this 1,000 times.
Completely irrelevant.
Fucking damn.
It's good every time.
want that wallet.
Yes, that one.
I think Haley's got one.
Not even kind of surprising.
No.
What a gift.
Right? Same color and everything. Would it be fun if he was just like 20, 40, 60, 60, comedy.
My favorite line of this whole movie.
Yeah, probably. Damn, forgot to do my daily reading. And thus 1,000 college dorm room posters were born. Cool.
Jake took Mr. 9mm and put it right in the head of the mood. Pulled the trigger.
Blasted his motherfucker's brains out. Whoa. It's hot. That one lady in that striped shirt's just like, is it done? Gosh. So convenient. The chef.
He just chilling. I like how everybody decided to get back up in their seats and finish their hash browns in the interim.
I mean, if I paid for that shit, I would.
Well, I suppose we ought to be leaving now.
It always bugs me when people do that in movies. I want there to be a movie where somebody like reaches for somebody's gun that's pointed right at their dick and just pulls the trigger.
I've thought about that so many times.
We need to do that in a movie of ours. It needs to happen. It's just like his last name is Coolidge. Did not know that.
Phil Lamar is Marv?
Wait, Phil.
That's Drebin.
Drebin.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh.
And God knows how many other voices.
Shot lady. long-haired yuppie scum. That's you, boy.
Mm-hmm. Lawrence Bender, that's the producer.
Can you change Addict's name to long-haired yuppie scum?
I believe not.
Well, that was our Pulp Fiction commentary. Hope you enjoyed about an hour and 45 minutes of us talking about sad things and then 15 minutes of us not talking at all.
Yeah.
See.